Hello guys, and welcome to another video on Easy Post. In today's video I am going to be talking about the Marquee tool in Photoshop. The Marquee tool can be found over the tools palette. It is the second icon from the top, and the shortcut for the Marquee tool is the letter M on your keyboard. Now when you click and hold on the Marquee tool icon, you can see from the expanded menu we are getting four tools. First is the rectangular Marquee tool, second is the elliptical Marquee tool, third is the single row Marquee tool, and the fourth one is the single column Marquee tool. Now in this video I won't be talking about the single row or the single column Marquee tool because these tools are used very rarely in Photoshop. Instead I will be talking about the rectangular Marquee tool and the elliptical Marquee tool in Photoshop. So if you want to toggle between the rectangular Marquee tool and the elliptical Marquee tool, all you have to do is hold down on Shift and press M to toggle between these tools just like this. So first I'm going to show you by making a selection with the rectangular Marquee tool. To make a selection, all you have to do is click and drag anywhere on your image, and now you have a rectangular area selected on your image. To deselect this area, all you have to do is hold down on Ctrl and press D. Now when you click and drag, a rectangular area gets selected on your image. But if you want this selection to be a perfect square, all you need to do is hold down on Shift before letting go of the mouse, and you will have a perfect square area on your image as a selection, just like this. Similarly with the elliptical Marquee tool, if you hold down on Shift and click and drag, a perfect circular area is created on your image. And if you don't hold down on Shift, an elliptical or a oval shape is selected on your image. Now after creating a selection, if you want to move this selection anywhere on your image, all you have to do is get your mouse pointer inside the selected area and click and drag, and when you have the selection on your desired position, just let go of the mouse. So you have moved your selection anywhere on your image. Now if you want to move your selection while you are creating the selection, all you have to do is click and drag, and then before letting go of the mouse button, you need to hold down on the space bar on your keyboard and then move the selection anywhere on your image, and after that make a selection and then let go of the mouse. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to add to a selection or subtract from a selection or create a subset of a selection, and also how to feather a selection. So to add to a selection, I'm going to say, for example, I have this area selected and I want to add a second selection to this selection. So for that I'm going to hold down on the Shift on the keyboard and click and drag for the second time. Now the second selection gets added to the first selection. Next I'm going to show you how to subtract from a selection. So for example, this is the first selection, and to subtract from the selection, what I'm going to do is hold down on the Alt and click and drag and create a second selection, and now we can see that the second selection gets subtracted from the first selection. Now this is a first selection, and this time I'm holding down on Shift and Alt and I'm creating a second selection. Now the final selection is going to be the area which is common to the both first selection and the second selection. You can say that this selection is the subset of selection 1 and selection 2. Now if I take the brush tool with the foreground color as white and paint over this selection, as you can see that this selection had a very hard edge. Now if I want to soften this edge, all I have to do is enter a feather radius of say 10 pixels and create another selection, and this time when I paint over the brush tool, I can see that the second selection has a very soft edge compared to the first selection. So with the Marquee tool, you do get some options in Photoshop. Now all these options are displayed over this area right below the file, edit, image drop down menus. And these options, first group of these options, they are just adding to selection and then subtracting from a selection and making a subset of the selection. I mean, you can use these options, but I generally do not use these options. I find holding down on the Shift and Alt key to be much more convenient while making a selection. Then comes the option of feathering the selection, which I have already showed. Now if you're using the rectangular Marquee tool, then the anti-alias option is grayed out, but if you are using the elliptical Marquee tool, you have the option of anti-alias or using the anti-alias option. Using the anti-alias option only smoothens the edge of your selection and does nothing more. I mean, it just makes the edges a bit more smoother. It does not make them softer. I mean, if you want to make them softer, you have to use the feathering option. Now comes the style, and from the style drop down menu you have the option of normal, fixed ratio and fixed size. Now up till now we have been using the normal style, and when we choose the fixed ratio, then you have to enter means the ratio number for width used to height. For example, I have entered here 4:3. So no matter how much I click and drag with the Marquee tool, the final selection will always have a width to height ratio of 3:4. Then comes the fixed size. I mean, in the fixed size option you have to enter a value for the width and the height in pixels. So for example, I have entered the width value as 800 pixels and the height value as 600 pixels. Now anytime I create a selection on the image, no matter how much I click and drag, the final selection will always have a dimension of 800 pixels to 600 pixels. Next comes the option of refine edge. Now this option is used to make the edges of the selection much more refined. I mean, if you want to customize the edges of the selection, you will be using this refine edge option. I won't be talking much about refine edge in this video because I'm going to make a detailed video on refine edge very soon, so I'm going to cancel it. So this concludes the video on the Marquee tool in Photoshop. I hope you guys found this video to be useful and liked it. If you liked it, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Anyways, thanks for watching and have a nice day everyone.